Hi, welcome back again. This is Cook It with Catherine Smith from Geraldstown House, and we're just doing a little bit of Cook It at home for while we're all stuck at home during COVID-19. Today I'm going to make some egg muffins. These are the things that I make when I have loads of little bits left in the fridge, and there isn't really a recipe to this. You can use anything in this. It's really versatile, and so what you need is some vegetables. So whatever you have in the fridge. I'm going to put into it half an onion chopped up, and everything. I tend to chop things up quite small for this because they're going to be in a small little case. Little chopped up mushrooms. There's about 3 mushrooms there. This is like a quarter of a red pepper and a quarter of a yellow pepper, but about half a pepper. Courgette. That's a good bit of courgette, a small courgette. I have some rocket that I left at the end of a bag of salad that wasn't used up, and I have some ham. This is about 2 slices of cooked ham. You can use chicken, you can use like ham left over from your dinner, like if you've made ham or bacon. You can use anything. You could use a bit of tomato, is lovely in it, really nice. You can make them really simple. You could have like ham and sweetcorn, or you could have tons of veg in it. Okay, so what we're going to do first is going to fry up the onion, and then whatever veg you have, whatever veg needs to be fried. So I'm going to fry up my onion, my mushroom, my peppers and courgettes. Okay, I'm also going to add about an ounce of cheese, okay, about 25 grams of cheese. Okay, so I'm gonna go and start heating these up, or cooking these up. So I'm over here at my frying pan, and I'm gonna put about a dessert spoon of oil, not much, and then just fry up my onions, mushrooms, courgettes. So I'm going to fry up my onions, remembering to wash your hands really well and all the surfaces that you're using as well, just especially at this time. So the onions and whatever needs to be fried up. I'm not going to fry the ham, and I'm not going to add the cheese to this, of course, because it'll melt. And the rocket, like you could use spinach, like rocket, whatever, those little salad bags, and just chop them back down. They don't necessarily need to go into the frying pan because they'll just cook in the egg muffin themselves. So this is great when you've no flour, because I know at the moment there's no flour around. So I'm going to add my peppers. This is really versatile, and it's a really great one for the kids as a lunch, or I tend to keep them in the fridge so that when I go nibbling, that there's something healthy to nibble rather than going for, whatever, chocolate. I nibble that too, but so just to fry up those, that looks really nice actually, the onions and the peppers. Then I'm going to add my courgettes. They don't have to be fried for very long, maybe about between 5 and 10 minutes. Because they're again going to be cooking in the oven, in the muffin, in the egg muffin. And then I'm going to add my mushrooms. Okay, and as I said, you can add sweet corn, like really whatever you want to add. If you want, you can do this in a saucepan, just cook them up. Okay. So I have my oven on at 180 degrees, and this is a good recipe to cook when you have something in the oven already. Just saves on space or saves on energy. So sometimes when I make my brown bread, I stick these in as well, or if I'm doing a cake or whatever. These are very easy. They take about 25 minutes to half an hour in the oven, and they just, so you can shove them in. They don't need to sometimes when you're baking, if you open the oven too many times, it stops your bread or your cakes from rising. So when you're putting these in, make sure that you're putting them in at a time where you don't have to take these guys out, the muffins out, before the bread has been in, at least the bread or cake or whatever has been in at least kind of 10-15 minutes, maybe more, depending. So in the bread, I wouldn't open the oven for a good half an hour. So sometimes I'd stick these in with the bread and then take them out kind of when I'm checking the bread out. After about half an hour, my bread stays in an hour. Okay, so you fry these up. And while those are frying up, sometimes you can, I'm going to just beat my 5 eggs. Okay, so that's beat. So we'll come back to when we're putting them into the muffin trays. Okay. Okay, so my veg is cooked up. Okay, and I like my veg to be a little bit crispy, you know, with a bit of bite. So I cook those for 5 minutes, you know, so they don't need much. So your vegetables that you need to cook is cooked up. I have my egg beaten, and I like to do this in a jug, but you can do it in a, you know, a bowl or whatever you have. But I like to do it in a jug because I like to pour the egg mixture into the muffins. So what I do is let these cool down for a little while, because if you add your eggs to the hot vegetables, it's going to curdle or kind of scramble a little bit. So let these cool down, okay, and until like all the steam is coming off them. But just a little word about your muffin tin. So I'm going to use these silicone muffin cases. And the reason I'm going to use these is because you don't have to put oil in them. So it just kind of means it's a little bit, you know, healthier. But if you're using a muffin tin, you can use a muffin tin and just get like about a tablespoon of oil and in a cup. And if you have one of these, like a brush, dip it in and just coat the whole muffin area, muffin bun area, into like with oil, so that it's nice and, you know, there's a little bit of oil, and then dip again. These are great because you don't tend to use a lot of oil. But if you don't have a brush, sometimes you can get like a pastry brush or one of these brushes, you can use a little bit of kitchen paper dipped in the oil and rub it around, or some greaseproof paper, whatever works for you. Or you can, you know, but just coat them all. With these, you don't need any oil at all, so they're really, really handy. And we often give these to people at Cook It because they're really handy for muffins and these things as well. Okay, so these have kind of cooled down now at this stage. I've kind of left them for quite a while. I'm going to add my egg. This is 5 eggs beaten. Again, if you want to make more of these, they'll keep in the fridge in a sealed container for about 3 days. If they last that long. And then I'm going to add my ham. You can add chicken, you can have these vegetarian, whatever. A little bit of cheese. I'm going to add my rocket here. Oops, daisy. Add my rocket. As I said, I just use at the end of a bag of salad that's left over. You can use spinach, is really, really nice in this, really nice in it. And give that a mix up, okay? So it'll feel like there's very little egg, but that actually doesn't matter. When you pour it into the muffin cases, you'll be surprised how far the egg goes. You just need to coat it, okay? And then we'll put our cooled vegetables into it as well, okay? Now, I'm going to take these out with a slotted spoon and just give them a little shake so that the oil comes out of them as well. There isn't a huge amount of oil, and it is a little bit of olive oil, so it's unsaturated. But again, you don't want these too oily. Okay. You can, if you like, take them out and let them drain in a colander. But that just makes more washing up, so I don't do that. Okay, so we have our vegetables in. Oops. And we give those a mix. So you really have this very thick mixture, really, of egg and vegetables. This is so simple. If you're, there's no need to add salt to this because there's ham in it already. But you can add a little bit of pepper. You could add, you know, herbs. You might have some like fresh herbs in the fridge that are like at the end of their life or whatever, or near the end of their life. Or you can add some dried herbs to it as well. Okay, so we have our mixture, and this is the same if you're using the muffin tin on its own or these muffin cups. It's the same. What I would say is, do not, if you have these, do not fill them up to the top. These little egg muffins are really, really filling. So you don't want to have them too big because otherwise you're just going to be stuffed. So I kind of fill about halfway. They do rise actually a little bit, but I fill the muffin space or the muffin cup about halfway. And out of 5 eggs, I should get, you know, a good 12, like a full muffin tray of egg muffins. So, you know, and you can make these any size. If you're making them for small kids, make them smaller. And, you know, if you want to add, there we are. As I said, add anything. That actually could do maybe 13. I might make another one bigger. So these are so simple, and they really are brilliant for using up all the little bits that you've left in your fridge. That's when I make them, when I've like a bit of a tomato or half an onion or whatever. So you pop these into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know. And as I said, these are a great one if you are already cooking something, if you have a roast in or something already in the oven, just so that you're saving on energy. Okay, that's everything. See you again.